morning on this Tuesday, May 10th, with growing questions over a possible cover-up of the U.S. Department of State. Fox News discovering that a key piece of video from a 2013 press briefing 3 years ago had been altered, possibly to remove a damning piece of evidence about media manipulation. So we're going to work through this story now as we say good morning and welcome to America's Newsroom on this Tuesday. I'm Bill Hemmer. Another primary day, too. We'll get to that.
Indeed. Bill, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum. So this could be a disturbing development in an ongoing effort by the Obama administration to potentially manipulate the information that the media receives. Some might say that this could be deceiving as well to the American people. So you look at this whole thing and see what you think. A series of questions by our own James Rosen about whether the Obama administration lied about the timing of the Iran nuclear talks was mysteriously edited. It was replaced in this tape with what we call in TV a white flash. Watch this.
There are remaining concerns that we have, as you all are familiar with, whether it's their involvement in support of the regime in Syria or humanitarian issues, and so that has not changed that.
The Obama administration says we...
White flash. Did you see that? That blocks out roughly 8 minutes of video that include a response from then state spokeswoman Jen Psaki admitting that sometimes the press, she believes, needs to be misled to accomplish what the administration is trying to do. Here's part of the unedited exchange as it originally happened.
James, I have no new information for you today on the timing of when there were any discussions with any Iranian officials.
Let me try it one last way,
okay.
Jen, and I appreciate your indulgence.
Sure.
Is it the policy of the State Department where the preservation of the secrecy of secret negotiations is concerned to lie in order to achieve that goal?
James, I think there are times where diplomacy needs privacy in order to progress. This is a good example of that.
Okay, now in 2016, Byron Orr, chief political correspondent, Washington Examiner, and a Fox News contributor. Byron, what would be the intent of the State Department's decision behind this? What's going on?
It's not entirely clear. Hopefully we'll learn more about this, but a lot of this is fallout from a new New York Times article about Ben Rhodes, who's one of the president's top national security advisors, in which Rhodes essentially admits and perhaps even brags about how the administration misled the press about these Iranian nuclear talks. The administration's story was that the talks began after the election of the supposed moderate president, Hassan Rouhani, in Iran. But in fact, we know now that the talks began well before that. And that's what James was asking about back in December 2013. He was saying, look, it appears we have some reports that these talks were going on beforehand. Did you lie about that? And then you just heard what Jen Psaki said, which is basically sounded like a yes to me. And what James discovered in re-reporting some of this in relation to this New York Times article was that a large segment of the video had been taken out. And that's the question we have
this morning. Why does it matter, 2011, 2013, moderates in power in Iran, hardliners still in control after an election? Why is that important?
Well, it's important because if the administration's story is we began to think about lifting sanctions, about coming to an agreement after more moderate forces were in control in Iran. That's one story. Or we began to think about lowering sanctions and doing these negotiations back when the real hardliners were in control, and there was no doubt about that. I mean, that's in other words, it was the president's plan all along to do this. That's just a question of whether the White House is telling the public the truth about what went on.